All right, we're gonna start on our chair. And just take our time getting settled in. I have my feet started just a little wider than usual. If that feels good for you too. And just noticing our pelvis here. We might play a little bit for a moment, just on a tilt where you feel like your ribs are protruding. And then as you drop it back, you can feel how there's some compression, an opening in the back, but the front side is compressed, right? That's your tuck. So just playing with that. We're going to be focusing on strengthening our obliques and our outer hips today. So this pelvic movement is important. So we want to settle into neutral, where we're neither tilting or tucking. And so creating the length into our spine, softness in our face and our jaws. And just feeling the feet push into the earth so that you're starting to engage through the legs. And you're not overly engaging. Everything is sustainable. Relaxing the chin towards the chest, but the head gently presses back. And let's take a full breath in through the nose, acknowledging our presence here in our body. And just sigh it out. And take another deep breath in through the nose. Bringing our mental and emotional state right here, right now. Sigh it out. And then lastly, full breath in. And just bringing it all together. We're here physically, mentally, and emotionally. Sigh it out. Ever so slowly allowing your right ear to tilt towards that right shoulder. And we're not tilting the rest of our body, it's just the head. And then taking your right hand out to your side, and that might be just enough just to add a little bit more length and space. As you press your feet into the ground, lifting that right hand and just noticing how that changes the response of the stretch from that left side. You might even bend into your elbow eventually. And without force, maybe you take your hand, the right hand, over towards the left side of the head. And it's just a gentle weight. If you'd like to explore the left hand now to extend, you can do that too. Just sliding the shoulder downward, creating a little more space between the ear and the shoulder. And then eventually releasing the right hand if it's holding your head, release the arm all the way down, bring both hands onto your thigh, and just lifting your head back up to center. And just take a moment of pause and see if you notice any differences between left and right. Take a big breath in, big breath out. Right, and then again, adding the engagement of your legs, the neutral position of the pelvis, and just allowing your left ear to travel towards the left shoulder. Again, trying not to lean anything else but the head. And it's a nice steady breath. Your feet are actively pushing into the floor. The tush is pushing into the chair to lengthen the spine. Remember that chin is down and head gently back. If you'd like, you can extend that left arm out. You're creating more space between the left ear and that left shoulder. You can slowly start to lift that left arm, and maybe you find a different height, a different stretch. You can turn that left palm up. Relax the right shoulder. And then if you'd like, you can start to bend into that left arm. You don't have to hold the head. Just bending the elbow might be enough of a stretch, or you can slowly lift the hand and gently just let it sit onto the right side of your head. And again, that might be enough, or you begin to extend out through that right hand. Maybe turning the palm up and lifting the arm up a little higher as you reach out, creating length into that whole right side. The shoulder blade is sliding down your back rather than rolling forward. A gentle weight onto your head, not a push, not a pull. Take a deep breath in, releasing the left hand, melting the arms, bringing the head back through center as you exhale. And again, without doing too much, just see and notice what you feel. Big breath in, big breath out. Beautiful. And then gradually bringing your chin downward, but your shoulder blades are hugging back. So continue sliding the shoulders down as that chin comes forward. You can stay just as you are. You can also reach your arms out in front of you, squeezing the shoulder blades back, noticing the different stretch sensation. You can also bend into those elbows, 90 degrees roughly. Elbows might be below the shoulders or slowly lifting in alignment, or continue lifting up and back. Maybe you just reach back behind you, elbows squeezing towards the face as the head gently continues to melt. You can also put a little pressure with your hands on the back of the head to encourage a little bit more of a stretch, not a pull, not a push, just wait. Maybe the hands interlace, and you can feel the elbows and the head drop down just a little bit more as you exhale. Soften the jaws. Press your feet into the earth. Feel the length in the spine and the softness of the upper neck. And then you can gradually lift your head. If your hands and head are touching, you can press the head into those hands, open up those elbows. If your hands are interlaced, just slowly start to peel them out, lifting the front throat as your arms press back, opening wide through the arms. The elbows are slowly melting down towards the lower part of your ribs, chest lifts, throat lifts, big breath in. And then neutralize everything as the arms relax and the head comes back to center. And again, just taking a moment to notice how you're feeling. Breathing in, breathing out. And then you can just move as you need to. All right. So just as a reminder, oftentimes we hold a lot of tension in the upper body, and when we do, it holds tension in the lower half of the body, right? So hopefully by releasing some of the tension in that upper body, the lower half will be more willing to create some stretching. So we're just going to stretch our right leg out. So remember, I started a little bit of wider width, not extreme, but we're just going to slide that right leg out. So the heel is towards the ground, toes are up towards me. My right arm is going to reach out in front. So take that right arm forward. Take your left hand onto your hip and try to keep your pelvis in neutral. Sit tall, chin is parallel to the chest. Slowly start to turn from the navel, the ribs, and shoulders to the left as that right hand reaches outside of that left thigh. Now your right hand is going to encourage that left leg to travel towards the right. So you're sinking into the arches of that left foot as you're twisting open to the left. Notice where you're feeling the stretch. For me, it's all going to be potentially different, but for me, the stretch is really happening more so in that right top outer hip. You're going to feel it first and foremost where you're the tightest. So for me, that right outer hip tends to be my tight spot. So that's where I'm feeling it. And then take another big breath in, see if there's a little bit more twist. Exhale. And slowly allow yourself to unwind. Bring that right leg in, the knee and toes still pointed out as you extend that left leg out. Right hand to hip, neutralize the pelvis, check in with your posture of your neck, send that left arm forward. And then twisting from the navel, the ribs, and the shoulders, reaching that left hand outside that right thigh and pulling that right knee in. It moves across to the left. Keep your left knee and toes towards the ceiling as you twist open to the right. You can slowly open up your chin towards your right shoulder if that feels appropriate for the neck. Push down into your tush so that you can reach out through your crown. Notice where you're feeling this stretch here for you. This is shifted for me, so now I'm starting to feel it in my upper back towards my shoulder blades rather than in that right hip. So it's just interesting to see how your body responds. Same stretch, right? But different sides, so different response. Take another deep breath in. Exhale it out as you twist one last time, and then you can unwind after that. And just shake it off. Beautiful. So left leg comes back in if it hasn't already. So we're going to draw the soles of the feet towards one another, trying to get down to the side pinky edges of our feet, letting the knees open out. So you're going to take your hands either to your hips or to your inner knees, as long as you feel comfortable on your chair. You might have to scooch forward a little bit so that you can get a little more width in those legs. But if you feel like you might slide off, then just hold the chair, right? I don't want you to feel like you're going to slide off. I want you to trust that you'll stay comfortably seated. But hands can be inside the thigh, to the chair, or on the hips. And the reason why we may take it to the hips is so that we can feel the pelvis tilting forward. And as you do, notice maybe a little bit more pressure happening to the pinky edges of your feet. Focus on pressing not just through the pinky top part of your feet, like the pinky edges. Think about pressing, even if the outside heels are lifting, think about focusing on pressing them downward. And feel a little bit different stretch into those ankles when you do that, rather than them feeling really loose and lifting. Like you're just adding a little bit extra weight to even out the balance into those feet. So the pelvis is tilting, you're lifting the chest, breathing, elbows can squeeze back, knees are wide. Big breath in, big breath out. And then you can slowly bring your chin down, rest the rib cage, the chest. Start to feel more neutral into that pelvis. Then you can start to tuck that tailbone. As you start to tuck the tailbone, you might notice the knees are lifting. It's okay, allow that to lift. If there's a block behind you, you might be pushing into that block a little bit more. Feel the tailbone curling up towards the navel. If you want to reach for those legs and squeeze them inward a little bit more, you can notice a different stretch all the way through your backside. Breathing here. Shoulder blades are sliding down your arms. Not literally, just figuratively. And then we'll take that reverse again. So the knees are opening. Remember, your hands can go onto those knees, onto those hips, or grab the chair, but you're pushing that pelvis forward, sending even weight distribution to not just the pinky edges, but also trying to press through the outside edges of the heels. And mine are elevated, so yours might be anchored or lifted. But the idea is that you're focusing on sinking. Lift the chest, squeeze the elbows back, open up the throat as much as you like. Inhale. And then when you're ready, slow and steady, taking that exhalation. You can tuck, you can round. You can grab the outer legs and squeeze them towards one another as the soles of the feet connect a little deeper. Exhale. Let the shoulders slide away from the ears. And then eventually sitting tall, walking those feet back onto the mat, heels and toes opening. Good. So we're going to move our upper body, nice little wiggles from side to side, not from the hips, not from those legs, just wiggling the torso side to side. I was doing this with my son yesterday, and he couldn't not move without the lower half of his body wiggling. It was very cute. So if you're in that same boat, it's okay. It takes time to notice, how to stay in stillness. Really, it's about the engagement of the feet down and really just focusing on your spine and your ribs wiggling side to side. Trying not to let the lower half of the body wiggle. He didn't think it was possible. So just do your best. So we're going to lean the torso over towards the left, right? That means there's a little compression now onto this right side. This right oblique is getting compressed. So reach that right hand down as that left arm opts to lift up to the ceiling. And you're opening space into that left rib cage. You're sliding the ribs to the left, leaning your head to the right. Exhale. And then bring those hands back down, bring the head back to center and return the spine back, ribs back. All right, now without doing the whole upper body just yet, just wiggle side to side. Really start to focus on how you want to lean to that right side just a little bit more. So then the next time you're leaning to that right side, ribs are starting to expand, the left side compresses. Take that left hand to your side body and just lean down. Good. Ideally, even though the head is leaning, your ear is not dropping to your shoulder. And that right arm can stay down or slowly lift up to the sky, creating a little bit more space into that whole right rib. Press into your feet. Sink on that left, reach on that right. Exhale, exhale. And then come right back through center and shake it off. Awesome. All right, so bring those feet back in. Lift your arms up to the sky. We're going to fold forward just over top of those thighs. Hands can rest right onto your legs. Awesome. So when you're ready, send that right arm out in front of you and then send that right arm out to the side. Take your left arm across the thighs and then rotate the torso, opening up to that right. I've gripped my outer thigh with my left hand. If that feels good for you, you can work into that. And just rotate, rotate. Push into your tush. Keep your head in alignment with your shoulders. So if you're in your mountain. And then release that right arm all the way down, bringing those arms back out in front. You might need to stretch out the spine, round your back, drop the head. And then come in back to neutral, right? So the closer the legs are, the might be a little easier for you to go through that reach across. But first, left arm is out in front. Then the left arm is out to the side. I haven't moved anything else. Now my right hand is reaching across. So I'm still sitting tall. And then gripping the outer thigh as I twist. I do feel like I'm pushing into my thighs to help lift the chest. So do so as well. Push into the thighs, lift the chest. Ground down through the tush. Keep the head lifted and pressing back. Not only is this opening up your spinal column, but it's getting to that deep-seated core, that psoas. Exhale, exhale. And then gradually unwind. Come back through center and take that cat stretch. Your arms can stay on your thighs or maybe they wiggle down. And then go ahead and come on up. Sit nice and tall and exhale. Good. So let's walk our feet back. You can move the block away from behind you. We're going to sweep back with our arms and then sweep down and up away from the chair. Big stretch up. So kickstand your right leg out to the side. Let your hips lean to the left. If it feels good, grab that left wrist and just lean over to the right. If you feel like you want your chair in front of you, just walk behind that chair. Good. Now see how it feels to push your hips forward as you're leaning back a little bit more. Look up towards the sky. And then when you're ready, release. Shake it off. Okay, you can bring that right leg back in. So feet start side by side. Lift your arms up to the sky. Walk that left foot out as it feels good for you. Leaning over towards the left, the hips go to the right. You can grab that right wrist if it feels good. It's okay to leave your arms open or be more supportive, hand on your hip. But then you push those hips forward and you lean back with the torso. And breathe into this. If you can't breathe, you're overdoing it. It should feel sustainable. Take another deep breath in, deep breath out, and then release and come right back. Shake it off. Awesome, everyone. All right, so we're gonna face our chair. Go ahead and bring a block or two on the chair because we're not sure yet how many we need for what we're about to do. We'll just have to see how we're feeling. So you can start with both of the blocks stacked. I have mine just laying flat right in the front of the chair. All right, so shrug the shoulders up to the ears, roll them down your back. It feels like you're squeezing your shoulder blades together. Turn your palms out and lift the arms up to the sky. Inhale. Press into those big toes. Send the inner thighs back. Bend into those knees, hinge from those hips, and sweep the arms out wide. You're going to take your hands either on the blocks if you want to stay up high or towards the corner edges of your chair. And then elongate the legs as you lean forward. First, we're just going to come into our cat stretch. So round your back. Exhale. Tuck the tailbone. And then inhale, slowly tilting the pelvis down, looking up towards the sky as it feels good for you. And again, into your cat stretch. Push away from the chair. Really feel that opening in your back. Relax the neck. Can you wiggle your head a gentle no? Can you wiggle your head a gentle yes? And then neutralize. Right? If your wrists need a little break, roll those wrists. You can also opt for forearms on top of the blocks. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create length into our spine, into our table. So first and foremost, our left leg is going to slide back behind us. All right, then we're going to bend into the knee. You can look over to the left. This will help you. But you haven't moved your ribs or your spine. You just turned your head to look to the left. Keep pushing away from the chair. Now send your left knee outside and then give it a little kick. Retrace your steps. Bend the knee, bring the knee inward, foot to the ceiling, extend behind you, and release it to the ground. All right, bend those knees, release the hands from the chair, come up, take a big stretch up. Inhale, and then turn right back to your table. Okay, same thing, other side. So checking your space, I had to move away a little bit from the wall. So just making sure you have plenty of space around you. Lengthen, all right? Slowly slide the right leg behind you. Bend the knee, foot towards the ceiling. You can look slowly with your head to the right as you send your right knee out to the right and then give it a little kick out. Bend the knee, take the foot towards the ceiling, extend your leg, and come right back to center. Now bend those knees, release the hands, reach up to the sky. This time just come standing for a moment, hands collect to the heart as you exhale. And just give yourself some time to recoup. All right, so we move through that without any awareness really of our posture. Maybe the upper we were talking about a little bit, but not so much so the lower half. So in order to get into those outer hips, we really want to try to avoid moving too much into the pelvis. All right, so let's talk about that. We can do it together as we're moving through. So lift your arms up and then come forward as you exhale. All right, so return to that table. So when you extend your leg out, I want you to notice if you automatically dump, you see how I allowed my back to fall, right? Or do you round your back? Can you try to stay in that neutral position that you started in that table pose? Okay, so that's number one. Now from that length of the spine, the neutral in the pelvis, bend your knee. So nothing has shifted in your pelvis here, all right? So now keeping that pelvis level, open the knee out to the side. Now you might not be able to open it as much because if you're here, right, then you come out of your posture and then you just extend and kick your leg. So that takes it all the way into your outer hip and glute. And then rebend, bring the knee in, foot to the ceiling, extend the leg back, and then release. Bend the knees and shake it off. Okay, so it might have felt ideally, hopefully, it felt a little different, just isolating to that outer hip. You also are using those obliques. Okay, so I'm just going to turn the chair so you can stay as you are, but lift the arms up. We'll do the other side and come forward right into that table. Okay. So remember, if you want, you can be up a little higher if that feels better for you, if you feel like you're in too much compression, or come onto those elbows. All right. So when you're ready, your right leg comes out. And again, notice, do you drop, right? Or are you rounded? Try to stay neutral. Push away, right? Now bend into your knee, still keeping that level pelvis. All right, now slowly open the knee out to the side. Look to the side to help you. Keeping that back long. Did you tuck or tilt the pelvis? Keep it neutral and then kick it out. Rebend, pull the knee down, extend your leg back, and release. Bend into those knees, come up, reach high to the sky, and then exhale those arms down. All right, awesome. So when you're ready, we're going to come into our down dog. So lift your arms up to the sky. Let's stretch it all out. And exhale, hands to corners of the chair. Walk it back and just push those hips back. Nice deep breaths. So go ahead and bend your knees and tuck your tailbone, rounding into your back. And then keep your knees bent as you work on shifting your tailbone towards the ceiling as much as that back permits, and you're dropping your chest down. And then tuck that tailbone and feel your spine lifting, keeping the knees bent, and try to shift that tailbone between the thighs to the sky as you drop your chest. Right? The rounded one might be a little bit easier than getting into that pelvic tilt. So just take your time, no forcing. We're going to land in that gentle tuck. So I want you to only have a little tuck in the tailbone, but if your spine is rounding, if you can tell your spine is rounding, try to loosen up how much you're tucking and create more length into the spine. It'll feel better, hopefully, into the neck as well, if you're not overdoing that. All right, now lift those heels and slowly shift forward into your plank, shoulders right over those wrists. You're still in that little baby tuck, elongating that spine, lifting that head. And then push those hips back with a little baby tuck of that tailbone. Bend those knees, pressing back into that down dog. Maybe that plank helps you lengthen. See if you notice the difference. Lift the heels, come forward. You're engaging through those legs, shoulders over those wrists. Push forward, lift the heels. Gentle tuck. And slowly press back as our last one here as we exhale, push it back. Good, and then from here, just go ahead and walk it forward. Come up to stand and give yourself a little break. Awesome. All right, so we have our blocks in front of us. So now let's take our right hand to the center of that block. Take the left hand onto your hip. All right, now, as we're moving through, if you really want to have both hands down, know that you can go there as well. So spine is long. I'm pushing away like this is a button. I don't want to sink into it. So I'm using it as my anchor to press away. Soften the knees. It's a little baby tuck of the tailbone, not enough that I'm rounding, right? No cat-like stretches. I feel like I'm in my mountain pose. I'm just hinging from the hips, okay? So lift that left heel and then slide that left foot back behind you. Try to stay as we worked into that pelvis where you're not tucking or tilting, okay? It's neutral. And then bend into that left knee, adding a little balance here. Do you wish you had your left hand down? Put it down. Otherwise, just stay steady here, breathing. Good. See if you can open up your knee a little bit without moving through the pelvis. And then extending your leg out. Good. Lift the chest. Bend the knee. Pull the knee back in. And then release it down to the ground and come right back up. Shake it off. Okay. If you didn't like being that low, you can turn your chair and use the higher part of your chair. All right. I'm just going to flip around. So roll those shoulders out. Right. So slight bend in the knees. Remember, we hinge from our hips. Left hand is down. You can always start with both hands, but left hand down if you like, right hand to the hip. Okay. Push away so that chest is lifting, ribs are relaxed. All right, try to feel like you're neutral in that pelvis so you're not over tucking or tilting. All right, now sending your right leg back behind you. Keep that length, bending the knee. You can look over to the right, keep pushing into the left hand, open up that right leg. You're using those obliques and that outer hip and give it a little kick. And then rebend, pull the knee back in and release it down and come on up. Shake it off. So if you're feeling this in your lower back, we're not engaging our core enough, right? We're using too much of either the tuck or the tilt. So elevate yourself, right? You should ideally, hopefully feel, yes, that you are working, but you're not straining yourself, all right? So facing your chair, arms up to the sky, and then fold forward, exhale. And just take a nice little stretch. Okay, so your hands might be on the chair or dangling down or grabbing those legs. And then slowly and steady come back up, hands onto the block as you lean forward, shoulders over those wrists. Now you shouldn't feel like you're in a plank. So if you are, walk your feet forward. It should feel like a diagonal table. All right. So we're going to slide the left leg back, stay neutral in the pelvis, push away from your blocks. All right. So now from here, bend into that left knee like we've been practicing. Open up the knee out to the side. And then from here, either stay with your hands down or start to transition, work on some stability. Move your right hand to the center, send that left hand to your hip. And then turn the torso with that left leg opening up to the side, trying to hold into that neutral position. And then kicking your leg out. And then bring everything back through center and shake it off. All right. Breathe. You've got this. Remember, you can do the back part of the chair if you want a little higher. All right. So when you're ready, take your arms up to the sky. We'll take our fold first all the way down. You can shake it off. And then come up, hands onto your blocks. Again, you don't want to feel like you're leaning into a plank, so your feet can walk forward, so it just feels like you're hinged forward, supported, diagonal. All right, slow and steady. Extend your right leg back behind you. Stay neutral through the pelvis. Bend into the knee. See how you're feeling. You can stay right here, or take that right hand onto your hip. Open up that right knee as you turn the torso, opening up to that right side, trying to keep in that neutral position of the pelvis. And then extend the leg, lift up a little higher, and then release those legs and shake it off. All right. Nice work, everyone. Take your arms up to the sky. Take your hands back behind you. Grab your right hand and slide it across your lower back. And we're just going to rest the left arm down, and our right hand might grip the left arm. And just to help stretch out the shoulder, work on your posture, and you can lean your head over to the left shoulder. So you're stretching out the whole top of that right side. If it feels comfortable to do so, you can always take the left hand and reach towards the right arm as well. But you might feel just perfectly fine keeping that left arm down. And then releasing and shaking off that right side. Right. So then nice and slowly sliding that left hand to the lumbar. Remember, you can grab hold of it and slide it over to the right. Maybe it grips that right arm. It's okay if it doesn't meet there. You might be back here, right? Wherever you land, just be with it. And then lean your head over to the right, stretching out the left side of the neck. If you wanted to, you can work on bending that right arm and reaching back wherever you land on that left arm. But it may not be necessary. It may feel just fine staying as you are. Press your feet into the ground. Take another deep breath. And then let it go. Shake it off. Beautiful, everyone. All right, so let's grab our resistance band. We're gonna flip our chair around and let's place it onto our right side. All right, so we're gonna stand in the center of the strap with our right foot closest to the chair. But we're going to see if it feels comfortable to hold both of the handles into our left hand. Your right foot can go on a diagonal and the left foot can widen on that diagonal. So both of those feet are opened outside. You can start with your left hand facing your belly and allowing your left shoulder for now just to push back so that your chest is centered. And again, noticing if you're tilting or tucking the tailbone, right? You can have a slight tuck if you tend to let your tush drop back, right? That slight tuck can help. But if you're already in a position where you tuck and those knees are bent, then you don't want to tuck. You want to untuck a little, right? So you kind of have to know how you are in your natural stance. All right, so bend into those knees and then start to lengthen through that left arm. You can take your right hand to the chair. And without turning the torso too much, because this is more about the arm, we're just going to pull our elbow back and see how that feels. Right? If it's too much resistance, then you can release one of the handles and slide the strap longer so you have more play. Otherwise, you can start through that center. Okay? So find what works for you, even if it takes a few moments, a few tries, that's okay. Stay neutral in the pelvis, try to keep the shoulder back and just bending into that left arm. We're working our shoulders and our triceps here, pushing it back, and then release as you inhale, stand tall and exhale, pull out. Good, stand tall, lengthen, and push that elbow out and back. There you go. Nice deep breaths. If you're finding it challenging to hold both of the handles into one hand, you can also potentially feed your strap through, so you only have to worry about the one. Okay? A couple more. Inhale down and exhale, pull it back. Inhale down, stand tall, relax the jaws and the neck, and pull it back. Good. If you want to soften the knee a little bit more, do so. Just watch the pelvis. Keep it neutral. Pull it back. Good. Ribs are relaxed. Pull it back. We're going to take it one more time. Inhale down. Relax your jaws and pull it back. There you go. And then go ahead and step with those legs together. Release that strap underneath and relax your shoulders. Wonderful. So you can just put your resistance band anywhere you like. We're going to turn to face our chair and then walk it back. Hands can be on top, so heels of the palms on top. You can work arms if you prefer to not put pressure into your wrists. Right? You can play with bending and extending through the legs. You might even feel good to turn your palms to face each other and stretch the arms a little differently through the shoulders. Maybe you relax your head down. And then gradually lift the torso and walk it in. And shake it off. Awesome. So let's take it over to the other side. If you didn't really use your chair, you may just forget about it, right? Otherwise, go ahead and move it. And we'll take our strap underneath the left foot. And again, just playing with it and see how it feels to you. My feet aren't super wide apart, but my toes are pointed out. I'm going to hold the strap into my right hand, and I do have both, or I'm going to feed one through, so I only have to worry about holding on to one. Or if it's too much resistance, then release one strap down and have more slack into your strap. Okay, find what works for you. We have about 8 to 10 of these to do, right? Legs are long, but you can also soften the knees and really work through the quads, neutral in the pelvis. Hand can be on the chair or just resting down. Right? Remember, we're not moving the torso, we're just moving the arm. We inhale that right arm across the body and then exhale and pulling it out and back. Good. So try not to move like this, right? So stay nice and tall. If you want, push your hands in that chair to stabilize yourself. Inhale tall, relax the front ribs, relax the jaws, pull it up and back. Exhale. About 6 more, take your time. If you feel strain in the neck, bring your chin down and see if that helps you. We're not dropping our head, we're just bringing the chin down. So there's a difference in that. The back of the neck is still pressing back. We're going to take 3 more here. Push it back, exhale. Inhale long. Push it back, exhale. Inhale long. Last one, pull it back. And inhale, let it go. Release your foot from the strap, release the strap, turn to face the chair. Now you can stay up high as we worked before, or you can work lower onto the chair if you want to go a little bit further down. Anywhere on the back chair. Big breath in, big breath out. Very nice. So then come up and you can flip your chair around. We're going to make our way down onto the ground. So if you enjoy using your chair to help support the movement, to do so. We're going to land on the right side of our bodies. So if being on your right hip doesn't feel great, you can have a blanket for a little extra support. You might want a block or two to help support your head and shoulders. So you could put a block underneath the armpits so that the rib cage is nice and long. We don't want to feel like we're just hanging out and sinking. So if you could tell, there's this curvature, right? The ribs, we talked about this when we were first started, right, in our stretch, where we slid our rib cage down and it created opening on one side and then compression, right? So we want to avoid this. We don't want to feel compressed. So if you need to, you can rest your head down and shift your hips down so that you can have a natural curvature that you typically might have, right? But that the ribs feel more in alignment with one another from side to side. Or you're propped up on your elbow, pulling the rib cage up, which is why you could, depending on how you set your ribs up in the blocks, you could have support with blocks underneath you. Okay, I want you to find what's going to work for you. Just ideally, we are being supportive of our rib cage, right? So when you're ready, your knees are bent. Your head, chin is parallel to the chest, head gently pressing back. You can have your top hand either in front on the hips or in front of your belly to help support you. I'm up on my elbow, but you certainly can be down. Don't feel like you have to follow exactly how I'm positioned. All right, when you're ready, your top leg is just going to slowly lift. And as you're lifting that top leg, we are trying to stay neutral, right? Are you tired of hearing that yet? Neutral in that pelvis. And then squeeze it down. So we're not over tucking and rounding our back and sinking. We're not pushing forward and opening, right? We're in this neutral position, opening and closing. We're moving from our hip joints, opening and closing. So anything that's towards the ground, I'm pushing into the floor. Anything that's hovering away from the ground, I'm pulling up. All right, so now the next time you open up, and it's okay to take breaks and come back when you're ready. Next time you open up that top leg, keeping that neutral level pelvis, kick your leg out. Press into that bottom leg, press into your bottom arm, and then bend that top leg and release it down. Good. Drop your head down, drop your top shoulder, and just stretch it out. Right? If you're starting to feel a lot of discomfort and you're in that upper position, then get yourself down and support yourself. You can hold your head. You can also rest your head. Blocks can be nice too underneath that head. Okay, but check to see your ribs. Right? Can you feel evenness on both sides of those ribs? All right, so now when you're ready, come back into your clam. You can set your top hand forward to help support you so you're not rolling back. Your hips and shoulders are lining up. And extend your top leg. As you extend your leg, you're pushing into that bottom leg to activate your whole body. And then bend the knee and then release. Good. Open and kick it out. Good. Return the foot and bend the knees together. Open and kick. And if you notice, I don't have a really big open clam. Because when I do, then I'm rolling my hips back and then I'm losing it. I'm not in my hip whatsoever, right? At least not where I want to be. So take one or two more. Little lift and extend, and then take a break, right? Can you feel it in that upper hip a little bit? And bring the knee forward and you can drop the hip down. And this gives you a little stretch right here. You can even take a twist if you move your blocks and then take that right arm opening up. If it's too much with your knee dropping down, put those blocks underneath your right knee for a little extra support. You're just trying to relax the right shoulder towards the ground. If you're struggling to get that right shoulder down, grab hold of your left wrist and pull it across the body. And this will help get that right shoulder down. You might even feel a deeper stretch in that QL glute area. So the QL muscle is the back muscle that attaches to your glutes. And your glutes are your tush. When you're ready to come on out, just come on out. You can come up nice and slowly. Right? Notice if you want to cross the legs, cobbler, or open those legs, but just give yourself what you need here, a little shakedown. Roll the neck around. And then whatever you used for that one side, move it over and you might want to use it for the other side. Right? So you start, you're using the blocks. They help to hold underneath the armpits. They don't hold your whole weight. They're there just as a reminder of touch points. So you're not completely sinking and compressing the rib cage because it can be uncomfortable to let the ribs sink into the blocks, right? Instead, they're there as a reminder to push away. Little touch points, all right? So the knees are bent, hips are stacked, right? Keep your chin down, ribs down, press away, or lay down and relax onto the side ribs, keeping everything even as if you're standing. And then little baby clams, not enough to move those hips forward and back. We don't want to over tuck or tilt the pelvis. Try to find that neutral position. Whatever's touching the floor, push into the floor. Whatever's floating away from the floor, let it lift away. Breathing. In and out through the nose, nice and consistent. And then the next time you lift your top leg without adjusting your pelvis, try to work through a kick out. And then bend the knee and release and then shake it off. So before we go back into the full exercise, we just go through it and then we take a little break. You can wiggle it out, check to see if your arms need a little adjustment and releasing. Do you want to prop back up onto your elbow, or do you want to do that deeper exercise lower down, right? So remember, you can have blocks underneath your head to help support you without straining the neck. One or two, depends on the size of your block. If you have really thick blocks, maybe one is just enough. Okay? So again, stack those hips, stack the shoulders. It's as if you were standing in mountain pose. The lower ribs, you can pull it out and relax so they feel like they're pulling away, but down. All right, you can take your top hand to your hip, open up into your clam without rolling back. You're pushing into that right or that bottom leg. So if you're on your right leg, it's down, right leg down, right? So from that clam, open it out. Bend the knee and squeeze that top leg to the bottom. And I like my hand here because it's a reminder that I really am just moving from this hip joint, that top hip joint. Nothing else is moving. Inhale, lift. Exhale, kick it out. Inhale, bend. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Push into that bottom part of your body and then kick it out. Even all the way down to my bottom arm, I am anchoring. And kick it out. So a couple more here. You got this, nice and slow. Breathing into this. Feeling that work. And give yourself a little break. So remember, you can bring your leg more forward, stretch it out. Maybe your bottom leg goes long. You can give a little self hip massage. You can move that block out from underneath your head, and then you can roll onto your back. If it's too much of a twist for you, put a block or two underneath that top knee to give yourself extra support. When you're trying to anchor your opposite shoulder down. So for me, my left shoulder wants to lift because I have my left knee crossing over the right side of the body. So if that's the case, then I'm taking my right arm across so that I'm pushing that left shoulder down, right? The pull of that right arm across the shoulder helps to get my left shoulder down. Keep your chin down, relax your jaws. Soften where you feel like you're overdoing it. When you're ready to unwind, you can remove those blocks and just roll onto your back. And you can rock those legs side to side. If you prefer your blanket for your neck, then just gather it and bring it for your neck. If you enjoyed underneath your lumbar, keep it there. We're going to come into a reclined cobbler. So the knees are open, soles of feet together. You could put blocks on the outside of those hips to be more supportive. Your blocks have different heights, so whatever the hips need. So again, just trying to neutralize that pelvis. Relax the spine down. Walk the shoulders underneath you to relax a little deeper. Your chin is down as well. And just take a moment to receive this softening. If there's any strain in your body for having these legs bent, then you can kick them out. And just take a few more breaths here in this cobbler or legs out. And then when you're ready, just slowly walk the soles of the feet to the mat, bending the knees. So we're going to pull the right leg into our belly and give a nice little squeeze to the chest. Option for the forehead to come into that knee. Eventually your head will come down. So work through some length in your leg. And if you're struggling to keep your leg lifted, that resistance band could be of assistance if you'd like. You can place your strap maybe into the, put your foot into the hand strap as a little supporter. And this might be nice because it gives you an opportunity to lengthen that back leg a little bit more than you would if you were trying to hold it with your hands. So it's up to you. But we're not going to take a twist here. We're going to stretch out the outer hip, right? Gets into the outer hip all the way down to that IT band. So whether you're using the strap or not, you just cross your right leg a few inches over to the left. So you know where your belly button is. If you start your right leg, on the outside of your belly button, and then you cross your foot over towards the center of your belly button to maybe the opposite side of your belly button on the left, that could be enough. As long as the right hip is not coming away from the ground, right? If you come away, then you're stretching, into a twist. So it's just a little baby movement. Now, if it feels comfortable, take the right hand towards the top hip crease of that right side and try to push it down. So it might be hiking up. So you're just trying to encourage it to go down. And then you might notice you can slide the right foot a little further now over to the left without twisting. It may not feel like too much, right? Another option is to elongate that left leg and see how that feels. Notice the more deeper engagement there. If it's too much, bend into that left knee again. Breathing in and out through the nose, relax your jaws, relax the shoulders. If that left hand is, or the thumb is getting tired on that right hand, you can remove it. It may take away a little bit of the stretch, but I'd rather you not fatigue your thumb, right? Give it a break, shake it off. Maybe try to use the palm of your right hand instead. So a good 15 to 30 seconds to truly receive a stretch. Take a couple more breaths. If your left knee is long, bend the knee, bend your right leg, and then move your foot off the strap if you have it, and then open and close those legs like butterfly wings. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So start with your right knee bent, bring that left knee in, hug it to the chest. Option for the forehead to come in. Rest your head down. And then extending your left leg out to the ceiling. Again, if you're struggling to hold the leg up because we are holding it for a little while, then put that strap maybe around your foot for better support. And then you can hold the strap with your right hand so the left thumb or the palm pushes that left hip down. As you slide that left foot across from the navel over towards the right side. Keep your shoulders down, relax your chin. Maybe the right leg starts to work out longer. Doesn't have to be perfectly long, just long enough that you can start to feel the engagement of your outer hip getting a stretch here. The left heel can slide more to the right as long as you're really feeling like you're sinking into that backside of your tush to the floor. Remember holding your strap with your right hand, turn your palm to face you and bend the elbow so you can use your biceps. It's a larger muscle to hold the strap, so it's a less strain in the wrist. If you turn your hand the other way, you can strain your wrist. to turn it toward you, and that should feel better. If not, take little breaks. Left hip is sliding away and down, away from the lower left rib cage, down to the floor. Take a couple more breaths here. And then start to bend that right leg. If it's extended, bend the left knee, slide the strap out, wiggle those hands, those wrists, open and close those legs into butterfly wings. And then just giving yourself a moment of complete rest. Remember, you could put blocks underneath those thighs to elongate those legs. You can return to a cobbler if you'd like. If you have your chair in front of you, you can rest your legs on top of that chair. Right? You don't need any props if you don't want it. But walk the shoulders underneath you. Feel like the chest is lifting, shoulders are sinking, chin is relaxing down. Maybe today you don't even want to lay on your back and you'd rather sit up or roll to your side or your belly. The intention is still the same. We're just here to relax the body and the mind, letting our practice slowly work its magic. Breathing into the tension, letting go of the tension. And if your mind has wandered away, just come right back, wiggling the fingers and the toes. Start stretching the arms, moving the elbows and the knees as it feels good for you, depending on how you were laying down and resting. And you can rock and roll. Maybe you land on your side. Maybe you rock and roll up. If you're on your belly, you can push yourself back into a child's pose. Hmm. If you want to sit on the floor, you can. If you rather sit in the chair, to move into the chair. Resting your legs however way you need, just trying to keep that pelvis in neutral position. We'll bring our hands to our heart center and just bow down into gratitude for every single thing that we have in our lives today. Let the arms rise up, reaching high, gathering new energy and bringing it down towards the heart center as we exhale. And I thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.